So the question A1, A2, A3, etc. An are in AP with the first term 5 and a common difference 4. Evaluate 1 by A1, A2 plus 1 by A2, A3 plus 1 by A3, A4 plus 1 by A4, A5 plus 1 by A5, A6 plus 1 by A6, A7. So I am going to take the question 1 by A1, A2 plus 1 by A2, A3 plus 1 by A3, A4 plus 1 by A4, A5 plus 1 by A5, A6 plus 1 by A6, A7. That is the question. And what I am going to do is I am going to multiply and divide throughout the term with a D. I want to multiply and divide throughout the term with a D. This step you have to remember. So the dividing D I am writing as 1 by D. And the multiplying D I am giving to each and every term. So the first term becomes 1 by A1, A2 into D, which gives you D by A1, A2. Plus, second term also I have to multiply with the D. So D by A2, A3. Plus D by A3, A4. Plus D by A4, A5. Plus D by A5, A6. Plus D by A6, A7. What I did is I multiplied throughout the terms with the D and divided with the D. The multiplied term I give it to each and every term, and the divided D I wrote as 1 by D. Again the next step also you have to remember 1 by D I am writing 1 by D itself. What is D? D is the common difference. It can be second term minus first term, it can be third term minus second term, and so on. So rearrange D in such a way that the denominator matches with the D. So in here the denominator is A1, A2. Can you connect A2 and A1 together with the D? So D can be written as A2 minus A1. Second term minus first term give you the value of D. Plus, in the second case the denominator is A2, A3, isn't it? So how we will write this D? We will express D as third term minus second term, that is A3 minus A2. Similarly, the third denominator is A3, A4. So how we will write the D? A4 minus A3 plus in the next case it is A4, A5. So we will write the value of D as fifth term minus fourth term plus next term is sixth term minus fifth term by A5, A6 plus instead of D I am writing the value A7 minus A6 by A6, A7. That is equal to 1 by D into what I am going to do is I am going to split that term. There are two terms in the numerator and a single term in the denominator. So I can write as A2 by A1, A2 minus A1 by A1, A2 plus the next term also A3 by A2, A3 minus A2 by A2, A3 plus A4 by A3, A4 minus A3 by A3, A4 plus A5 by A4, A5 minus A4 by A4, A5 plus this term A6 by A5, A6 minus A5 by A5, A6 plus the last term A7 by A6, A7 minus A6 by A6, A7. So what we did is we splitted the term. Actually there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. So now we split it as 12 terms. Again to simplify 1 by D into what is the term? Here A2 and A2 get cancelled. So we are getting 1 by A1. Okay, minus here A1 and A1 get cancelled, 1 by A2. Here A3 and A3 get cancelled, plus 1 by A2. Here A2 and A2 get cancelled, minus 1 by A2. Plus here A4 and A4 get cancelled, 1 by A3. Minus here A3 and A3 get cancelled, 1 by A4. Again the next one. A5 and A5 get cancelled, giving you 1 by A5. A4 and A4 get cancelled, giving you 1 by A5. Plus here A6 get cancelled, giving you 1 by A5. Minus here A5 get cancelled, giving you 1 by A6. Plus here A7 get cancelled, giving you 1 by A6. Minus here A6 get cancelled, giving you 1 by A7. Again we can simplify the term. Here minus A1 by A2 plus A1 by A2 get cancelled. minus 1 by A3, 1 by A3, minus 1 by A4, sorry, this is A4, this term. This will get cancelled. Again, minus 1 by A5 and plus 1 by A5 get cancelled. 1 by A6 and minus 1 by A6 get cancelled. And the balance term is 1 by D into 1 by A1 and the last term minus 1 by A7. Okay, that is equal to 1 by D into, just take the LCM, A7 minus A1 by A1 into A7. That is equal to 1 by D into, what is A7? By using the formula we can write 8 plus 6D minus, what is A1? A1 is A itself, divided by, here A1 is A itself, and instead of A7 I can write A plus 6D. Here again minus A and plus A get cancelled. So we are getting 1 by D into 6D divided by A into A plus 6D. Okay. Again D get cancelled. Now we are getting 6 by A into A plus 6D. Now go back to the question. In the question it is said that first term is 5. That is A is 5. Common difference is 4. D is 4. So substitute the value. 6 by A is 5 into 5 plus 6 into 4. So 6 by 6 into 4 gives you 24. 24 plus 5 gives you 29. So 5 into 29. So that is equal to 6 divided by 145. This is the final answer. So while you get a question like this, what you have to remember is this step. Multiply throughout the expression with the D and also divide. The dividing term you write as 1 by D and the multiplying term you give to each and every term. Okay, then simplify.